All right, here we are again. Welcome to Nothing But Worry, number something or another. I'm Lance Ash, and with me on the sofa is my wife, Bonnie.
Hello.
And recording this a little later in the weekend than we're supposed to. I got to get ready to go to work soon. But we're so busy this weekend. Doing nothing. But we just didn't get around to it this weekend. So how you doing today, Bonnie?
Making do. How are you?
I'm very well. I slept really well today. I can't believe it.
How did the painting go this weekend?
Painting went really well. I finished the border, and I really didn't expect to do that because I kind of lost control of it at first. But then I decided to simplify it, and I got done with it. So that's basically all you can ask for.
And how's the next issue coming along?
Next issue of the magazine is going really, really well. And I had a dream this afternoon that I was drawing. And in the dream it was like, oh wow, you can draw so well, so easily just by taking this simple conceptual approach. And I woke up and I'm like, what was it? What was it?
I said 995 after cutting out the little piece from the comic strips. Remember those little things in the newspapers growing up?
Yeah. Oh dear. When I was a kid, I really looked forward to reading the comics in the newspaper, especially the Sunday section. But it's been a long time since I gave a shit about the comics.
Nowadays, Peter reads the comics on TikTok and other platforms like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I've been studying French, and I've been really hunting to get something basic and elementary that I can read in French to get into it. Still waiting on this book to come from overseas, but I got a whole bunch of French books from used bookstore the other day, or a couple of weeks ago actually. So I'm going through them, and I had dismissed this book or overlooked it. It's a little hardback book from 1949. It's an introductory reader, and I started going through it, and it's perfect because it's like France is a country in Europe. France is on the Atlantic Ocean. France is surrounded by England, Germany, Spain, and Italy. It has many beautiful valleys and mountains. It's just that simple, and that's all you really want, to get started anyway. Do you remember any of your French lessons from high school and college?
They're overly simplistic. Où est Anne avec Jean? Où à la piscine? Where's Anne with John? Where? At the pool? It was just silliness.
Oh dear. Well, let's see. Kind of disheartened. I just read the news that the Marine Le Pen's far-right party has won big victory in the French elections. French EU elections, apparently. I don't know how that affects the actual French Parliament itself, but it's enough that Macron has decided to dissolve Parliament and call for snap elections. So it's not good. And
Did you break your toe?
where?
Your little toe. You had it. Yeah, that angle. Weird. Odd. Strange.
Can you do that with your toe?
No, I can't.
Splay your toes as much as you can.
That's it.
That's it?
Yes, that's it. I have arthritis. You remember?
I can pick up tools with my feet.
Not me. I'm lucky I can bend my fingers anymore at all. I still can't close them like I'm supposed to.
I can pick up a pencil with
See,
my...
that one doesn't close at all.
Mm-hmm. You need to beat it against a wall till it
Yes,
obeys.
more arthritis.
Anyway, I had seen the headline about the France thing, but I hadn't explored it. So I clicked on a video from France 24 or whatever it's called, and the comments were all like, "Good, it's enough that we, of this shit. We need to make France great again," and this kind of crap. And all the comments were like that.
Jesus.
And it really is fear of immigrants, and to the extent that the immigrants will not uh, be assimilated to the extent of dropping their religious craziness. I can understand it, but beyond that, I don't get it. They can't be. I mean, I don't know how they're being swamped that badly.
Well, my theory is that it's catastrophe on the rise. I mean, since the 1990s, the U.S. Defense Department has known that climate change is going to cause catastrophic changes, etc., in the weather that's going to end up in mass migration over borders and loss of certain areas thanks to rising sea levels, and we're seeing it. We're seeing climate change hitting, and we're seeing instability across the world, and people are getting fearful. They're starting to become more insular, want to hold on to their own resources, what's mine is mine kind of mentality. And I think that the worse that the climate change, worse the climate change happens, then this is going to get worse, Lance.
Well, I think that's only part of the driving factor of migration, mass migration. I think it's also people just, want a better life in general.
Well, greed also doesn't help things. Everybody wanting to make as much money as possible and at the expense of other people.
To a certain extent, I wish I could have grown up in a different decade, because then I could more easily, I think, achieve what I want to achieve, in the artistic realm,
Oh.
Because today nobody gives a shit about actual physical art. Everything is, I don't know. Everybody wants to be a movie star, essentially. I look up my channel, I can espouse crap, be famous. My face will be famous, and all that.
I beg to differ. People still do care about art. It's just that it's the art that's there is more expensive. I mean, I look at the Christie's and Sotheby's auctions online when they do those, and you'd be shocked at the number of things that are actually being done by modern artists right now and the prices they're being sold for. But the only people who can afford these things are the ultra rich. I mean, that there's a trend also towards returning a lot of Chinese artifacts, having them repatriated to China, and the Chinese billionaire class is stepping up to do just that.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want to live in the past, because I don't. I enjoy modern medicine. I mean, this drug that they've announced that can regrow teeth. I mean, maybe one day I can regrow my pituitary gland, and then not have to take pills anymore.
And now Peter's ulcerative colitis, they're talking about maybe 5 years down the line having something to address that. And if they can cure it, that means his liver issues could be lessened. So,
yeah,
there's something to be said for modern medicine.
Well, what else has happened? I
went to see Reed. She and I had dinner together, Agua Linda, and then I brought home a ton of good leftovers for you, and I even had a second meal out of it, and lots of good salsas. So that was nice to go visit her. And I would say Miss Graham, her kitty, but Cat only came out twice when Reed held it, and then Kitty wiggled away, went to hide again. I'm the lady who puts her in the box to take her to the vet, so she doesn't like me.
So did you make headway getting her place cleaned and organized?
No, not at all.
Why not?
We just got talking, and I don't know.
I thought that was the whole point of going over there.
I thought so too, but it just didn't work out. And she'd gone out of her way to clean up the night before some, knowing that it'd be over there. So, honestly, I wish I had $1,000 to go and throw at her place to fix it and do some things around there, but we're not those kind of people.
You've been watching this FBI show, White Collar, lately, and it's not on a mainstream network, is it? It's what is it, Netflix?
It's streaming on Netflix, yeah.
But I mean, who made it?
I have no idea.
It's just amazing to me that there are just shows that just appear, and and when I was coming up, there were only 3 networks that made shows like that, and now they're just you don't know what the context is anymore. Anyway, when I was in another room watching Bonnie watch this show, and 2 of the people that were on Stargate are on this show. The little nerdy guy who's an alien, and Beau Bridges, who at one time was a bigger star than his brother, and now he's really nowhere. I remember him when I was a kid in the 70s. Speaking of which, for some reason, the movie The Longest Yard popped in my head, and I looked it up, and Eddie Albert was the evil prison warden, and I had forgotten that he was. I thought a totally different actor was the bad guy in the movie. Oh. Anyway, how was the show?
Meh.
Meh.
My heart went out of sync this weekend, so I ended up having a lot of time.
You just wanted something to veg out with?
Yeah, I mean, when my heart goes out of sync, my blood pressure spikes, and coming home from Reed's, it hit me, and I could barely focus on the road because the blood pressure was so bad, my eyesight was affected.
Well, I finally got sick. See, in my painting studio, I have a laptop hooked up to some speakers. And normally when I'm painting, all I listen to is shit on YouTube. But I got tired of it because YouTube is just a vast wasteland. And so I bought a CD, a cheap, basic CD boombox, little bitty thing for $25 at Walmart. And I ran it through the speakers in the studio, and it was. I haven't listened to music on CDs while painting in years. Oh, Bonnie's bringing the box. I can read you what it says on the back of the box. Anyway, so I'm getting used to doing that again, and it was nice. I listened to all kinds of stuff. Okay, now this is the On brand from Walmart, ONN. Now listen to what it says on the back of the box. All right. This is like the selling points written on the back of the box to induce you to buy the thing. Play that song. Nostalgia has never sounded so sweet, and we're here for it. With our portable CD boombox, you can listen to your old school music CDs or tune into FM radio, just like the good old days. Now that's easy listening. We've reached a point in this society where physical media? My God, how old are you?
Oh, but these were being sold in the same area as they were selling albums, actual albums of hit releases.
LPs.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand the mentality of, ooh, that's so old. Keep current. Have the streaming device embedded directly into your skull. Don't you want to think the same thoughts as everyone else? That's the hip new way to do things. It's just easier. I don't want to be on a streaming service. I don't want to pay money, and I don't want to be told what to listen to by the radio, or Sirius XM or whatever.
Listeners should note at this moment, yes, we do have Netflix, but it's not in our name. We use our son's account. Hee.
Yeah, well, I don't listen. I don't watch much of formal programming. I'm really getting tired of the offerings on YouTube. And so anyway, I figured $25, and I've got, I would imagine 2,000 CDs, roughly speaking.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, about 2,000 probably. And so,
Whereas Peter and I only have a couple dozen each.
but I mean, I can imagine some 18-year-old coming here and going, "Why don't you just donate all these to Goodwill so they can grind them up into garbage bags? Why would you keep all this? Why would you keep all this media? Ugh. Don't you want to live free with only your meager possessions in a backpack so you can hike around the world? Yeah. Books. He has actual books in his house with paper. Stupid. Anyway, I listened to a bunch of stuff, and I have to get used to listening to stuff again because I kept being drawn back to check the CNN site and the YouTube site every 10 minutes. But I felt like when I was listening to music on CDs, I felt like I was able to get my mind more focused on what I was supposed to be doing, my painting. So that's good. Oh dear. Let's see what our time is. What the hell does that say? Okay. A few more minutes here.
I'm going to go ahead and bow out early. So, goodbye. You have enjoyable time.
All right. We're going to call it quits, and I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.